One thing I've said a lot over the years, be it on Stav-Tech videos or on my website or on Facebook or in Redline or any of the magazines I've written for, the one thing I say quite a lot, and for good reason, it's not just some fucking catchphrase, is spend your tuning money wisely. You know, I say a lot about not spending mega money on certain parts when you don't need to, because that's the problem a lot of people make. You know, they'll be like, oh, £2,500 on a turbo, forgetting the other massive fundamental issues they've got with the car. Whereas £2,500 turbo is gonna make like 2% difference versus a £500 one. They could have spent that extra £2,000 that they would have saved on the more important things. There's no harm in having these £2,500 turbos or whatever parts if everything else is sorted. But most people's setups are far from it, no matter what they think. And I always say, if you save money somewhere, it means you could spend more money elsewhere rather than just ignore it. And there's certain things I don't like skimping on. And the one thing I'm always very, I'd say cautious about is wastegates. Because to be honest, I've had bad experiences even with big brand wastegates not being great. Wastegates they're quite simple, but they're easy to, it's not like they fail often, but they can have niggly little problems, often, you know, literally as the customer gets them, they never realise, and it's causing a problem start to finish. And the trouble with wastegates is, even though they're generally very reliable, relatively simple things, any problem with them has a massive effect on the entire engine. If it's leaking any exhaust gas, it's got a massively slow spooler and potentially affect peak power as well, because it won't be able to hold boost at high RPM. If it's leaking out the diaphragm, A, it's leaking air, which would drop compressor efficiency, and B, it might not even control the boost properly if it's leaking air. I've had diaphragms split on me, and in that case there is no wastegate control. I've lost one engine 100% because of the wastegate failed, and it literally over boosted and boom. Yes, you can have cuts in the ECU and stuff, but it's a bit like a rev limiter. Do you know what I mean? You can still go beyond it by accident if something bad happens. And it's the same with over boosting, you know what I mean? It's like when the turbo's on its way to the moon, there's not always going to be able to stop it just with an ignition cut. It might be too late by then. It's already well on its way. So anyway, wastegates, something I don't like skimping on. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have in the past, but not often. Generally, although I try and save money and stuff on most parts, you don't often see me running like cheap wastegates. That's one of the few things I don't really, it's not a good idea really. For that reason, I've got something, and unsurprisingly, it's a fucking wastegate, but a really good one. This is a Forge Motorsport 44mm external wastegate, which I'm going to be using on the MX5, which, as you probably know, is having a 2.5 litre Volvo Penta boat engine, plus a very big turbo. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. But this is the gate I'm using. I went with the Forge one for, well, a few reasons. One, and to be honest, it's a big one with these, is I've been dealing with Forge. They're a local company to me, and I've been dealing with them since, wow, since I had my driving license. So yeah, we're talking over 20 years now. I know I can rely on their stuff. Their stuff is just fucking top notch. They're no bullshit, no flash. They are literally, their stuff works. Another nice thing about this one, see that? Piston operated. Rather than having a diaphragm, it is literally a piston, which means no splitting diaphragms. It's something Forge have been doing for a very long time. it's one of the things they pioneered really on their blow-off valves and so on over the years. But they're doing it with their wastegates as well. I'm not even sure if there is any other wastegates around it as piston rather than diaphragm. There might be, but I don't know. But what I do know is Forge stuff is literally top notch, and it was like, who am I going to get something off that's going to be reliable and quality, and I'm not going to have to worry about it, because I've had it up to fucking here with leaking wastegates and things being missing and blah blah blah. I'm just sick of it. It's like funnily enough, Thomas with his 19 TDI MR2, he's going to be compound charging this soon, so twin charge, 2 turbos, and obviously it's going to be running an external wastegate to bypass the high pressure turbo once enough boost. And he, before he even had this, he said the same as me. He's like, you know what, the one thing I can't skimp on with this wastegate setup is a good wastegate, because it's pretty much critical to this car's performance. If you're compounding, a leaky gate is literally going to screw everything up. And the worst thing is, you're not even going to know very well on this, because it's not like you've got a wastegate vented to atmosphere. You can't even bloody hear when anything's wrong. So all you would know is the performance is pretty crap. In fact, that was the initial problem on my friend Mark's RX-7, which you would have seen in earlier videos. It was mapped 600 brake, 20 psi, you know, fucking fast. But that was with the fire ring missing from the bottom of the wastegate. So it was leaking massively, really bad. And because the wastegate was plumbed back into the exhaust, you couldn't tell. There was no screamer pipes. The noise wasn't obvious. There wasn't a noticeable exhaust leak. It was just a problem. And because of that, he scrapped off that wastegate. And again, he bought a brand new, good quality one, because he had no idea anything was wrong. It was mapped like that. Nobody knew anything was wrong until we took it off and realised, because even the map was like, oh, it's struggling to hold boost at really high RPM. I wonder why. Because the turbo could definitely do that. I was like, oh, that's why there's no bloody firing in it. So yeah, wastegates, not something, in my opinion. Well, yeah, of course you can scrimp on them. You can scrimp on anything, but wastegates are the one thing, well, one of the top things where it's risky as fuck to be skimping on it. Do you know what I mean? You are taking that risk that whatever cheapo thing you're using is going to be good. Unfortunately, I've got a very low opinion, not low opinion, but, well, yeah, fairly low opinion of some good quality wastegates, because I had a top branded one on my RX-7 back in the day, and the whole bloody valve fell off. Like, it literally managed to unscrew itself from the top half, so it just, you know, the valve just sort of rattled about in the housing. It, first thing I knew was like, hang on, where's the boost gone? And it was because of that, and I had to take the whole setup off because it literally fell apart. And I've had other big brand ones which leak really badly. And when you spend a lot of money and you still got problems, especially important problems like what a wastegate would cause, yeah, not great. But Forge, I like them. I can rely on them. You know what I mean? They've like, I've dealt with them for so long on so many parts, and they never let you down. So it's like, I'm getting a bloody Forge one. Anyway, I better show it you. I haven't even looked at this myself yet, to be perfectly honest. Forge Motorsport, engineered for performance. As always with Forge, because they specialise in some very cool, well, anything related to metal, they tend to be making some really trick stuff. So we've got, that's engraved, by the way, and that is badass. I wonder how they do that. That's some CNC, I suppose, isn't it? But that is nice. I wish I had a machine that could do that. Imagine writing your logo like that, Jesus. Anyway, yeah, it is a very nice looking, but obviously traditional design from the exterior anyway. external gate. Obviously inside it's a piston design rather than a diaphragm, which means A, it's going to take the heat a bit better, and B, it's just not, you know, as likely to, well, it's highly less likely to split. Basically, rather than a diaphragm, and we all know diaphragms can split, it's a metal piston with high temp O-rings. So it's bang on. Obviously you got your optional water cooling as well, which is always nice. I mean, you got the normal top and bottom air ports, and then if you want to water cool it, which again is something Thomas wanted to do on that compounded 190 TDI, because again he just wanted maximum reliability, which is fair enough. On this, I don't know if I'm going to water cool it yet. It's going to depend on the position. We've still got to figure that out, but once all this is back in the engine bay, because it's going to be tight, that's the thing. So I might well water cool it, you know, because I've got the option. It's going to be tight in there, so yeah, we will see. But yeah, obviously V-band inlet and outlet, and yeah, it's the traditional design. The one difference, you know, it's stupid calling it a difference, but it really is. And you probably, I don't know if you can even tell on camera, but like the quality of the fittings, it's like yeah, big deal. Mine's got fittings like that. Mine's got bolts like that. You know, mine's got clamps like that. Yeah, of course they have. All, you know, pretty much all wastegates have. But the difference is these are really nice quality, whereas a lot of the others can be a bit crap. This thing's, you know, proper nice stainless lock nuts. Machining is bloody good. Do you know what I mean? It's like most wastegates look about the same, you know, at first glance, but the reality is the really good quality ones are, you know, if you have a proper close look, it's like, yeah, you can tell the difference. As soon as Thomas, because Thomas has seen this earlier, I didn't see it, and Thomas, like, when I come back, because I had to bugger off and he had a nosy at it, and he's like, you can really see the quality difference in the fittings. And I was like, wow, fair play, but I see what he means now. So yeah, all good. It's pretty, it's not massive, it's not tiny. It's a pretty typical size for a 44mm. Some of them are a bit taller. This piston design seems to allow it to be a bit shorter, which is also a bonus. I'm a bit short on room. But yeah, it's gonna go. We're gonna use a link pipe, as I mentioned before. So the turbo will probably be up here somewhere, and this is either gonna be maybe on the bend there, or it's difficult to know about putting it in the bay, because that's why I'm saying it's gonna be quite tight. But you're likely to have a 90-degree bend there, and then another bend up, and then the turbo mounted there, so it's going to be somewhere on there. For the best wastegate priority, it could be on the outside of the bend like that. But again, it's going to depend on fitment. Because this looks badass, I would like it in a you know, a visible place. I can't have it too close to the spark plugs, so, you know, I'm not going to have, as cool as it would look there, no, because it would be a pain in the ass. Function first, form next, but I do want this on display because it's the right bloody colour scheme as well. I mean, I've got my black and my silver, and this is black and silver. I honestly didn't pick it because of that. I was wondering at first if, because I don't remember mentioning the colour, I was thinking, oh god, I hope, you know, I wonder if they're going to get me one as the correct colour. But yeah, Forge and Daft, and they've got me the colour the perfect colour for this. So yeah, very, very, very pleased with this, because I know I ain't gonna have an issue. It's proper precision machinery. They've got some, I mean, the guys at Forge, they are, again, that's another reason I like them, because it's not local bias or anything, but I've met them, I know them, they're like, they are proper, like, even like their fabricators and stuff. I've known them, I've spoke to them over the years, especially, you know, working at Redline when we used to be down Forge a lot doing features. and they're all proper into it and really enthusiastic and sound. So like, because a lot of the staff, Christ, they've been there for years, a lot of the people I know at Forge, and that's testament for being a decent company, because these people ain't in a fucking hurry to leave. But they are into it, do you know what I mean? They're into being Forge Motorsport, so it makes the quality decent, you know what I mean? If you like your job, the shit tends to be better. Not like it matters, but it's a cool bonus. But the springs are actually made by iBack, who do, obviously, as you know, sports suspension. But they actually make the Wastegate springs for this, which is not like a Wastegate springs, the bit you worry about too much, but it's nice to know it's proper quality. Especially seeing as being reliable will make it an engine saver too. Because one of the engines that I killed, thanks to a faulty wastegate, was my bloody Skyline. And literally, I don't remember if I mentioned this on video, but when it blew up, I was at a drift day and I was mid-drift, so I never felt anything was wrong. I had no hope of looking at the boost gauge, and it happened so fast. It wasn't like, you know, like something when you're running lean or you're over boosting for a long time and it fails. This was literally a sudden wastegate failure. Boost went to boom, 3 bar straight away, like wha-bang, and then it cut. It was fucking too late by then. It was literally moon boost straight away, and yeah, killed it. I'm a bit scared of crap wastegates, and that was a Turbonetics wastegate. It wasn't junk, but the diaphragm failed. This ain't got a diaphragm, so I'm a lot more confident. So yeah, happy days. I'll put a link in the description or maybe on the screen now to, I don't know if I'm allowed to put it on the screen now on YouTube actually. I'll put it in the description to this wastegate, but that's the code number if you want one. And you literally, you go on there, you pick a spring rate. I've picked 1 bar basically, because I reckon my target power for this is gonna probably be not far off 1 bar anyway. So 1 bar, and then the boost controller do the rest, because generally you don't want to go over about double what your spring pressure is with your boost controller. Generally 1 bar spring, usually up to about 2 bar, you're normally all right, depending if you've got a too small turbo and real high back pressure. But on this, I'm going to have very low back pressure, so this 1 bar wastegate will be plenty. And if by magic I get over my my power goal at 1 bar, then fuck it, I'm going over my power goal. But because I might, if this engine makes over 200 NA, then it should very likely, don't forget my power goal is only 400, could well make over 400 even at a bar of boost. So we'll see. And I mean, technically 2.5 litre and that massive cam and so on and so forth, that engine could well make well over 200 NA. So I don't know, but we'll see. I don't care. Whatever it makes, it makes. Nobody believes me. I'm only going to stick with 400 anyway. Everyone's like, oh no you won't, I know what you're like. But no, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is I'm happy with that. So yeah, that's enough of this jabbering on. And yeah, I'm going. I'll see you next time. See you later.